lovely mystic. Welcome to your November tarot reading. Just a few points to start with that I like to begin all my videos with is that my readings are timeless, so they're not bound to the month that they are posted in. It's not a timeline. It's really just scheduling purposes on my end. So if you find this reading a month from now or a year from now to when it's being recorded, that if you are resonating with the title of the video, you kind of just led to click it, then this is when you're meant to find it. My readings are also very general, so they can't possibly apply to everybody at once. It's just not possible. And I set the intention, as you'll hear when I start shuffling the cards, for those who need it, not those who want it or would like it. So if this month is not for you, then it's not for you. And that's totally okay. I'm sure that there are so many other tarot readings on YouTube. I'm sure that one of these is for you. And I feel as though if I tried to read for every single Aquarius placement all at once, it basically becomes just so watered down and so neutered. It doesn't really do anything for anyone. So this is only going to be for those who need it, just to really, I do that so that my readings do the most good, and aren't just necessarily for entertainment purposes. Though I do find the act of pulling tarot cards very, very pleasurable. What else? So, it's a simple way for if this hold on. This reading is for Aquarius signs, rising, sun, and moon. Kind of those three are always a good place to start, and I will have a video linked somewhere, either an annotation in a corner, and in the description for sure, with more detail on how to choose other placements in Aquarius or other placements in different signs, to give you some jumping off points. But rising, sun, and moon is the simplest way to put it for just the intro in this video. But yeah, if you're new to watching tarot on YouTube and you're new to my channel specifically, that video, that guide will help with interpreting your reading. Yeah, I want to get that. I think that's it for now. I'm going to pick your tarot decks and we're going to get started. Alright, so I have picked your tarot decks. So recently I completed a Major Arcana deck using collage. So this is my own personal thing, my own personal deck. I'm going to draw one of these to start with to kind of to basically identify what the large life lesson is overall in the situation that I'm reading for, or the general energy around the reading. So I will start with that, and then we will go into a full tarot deck. All of my tarot decks, besides my personal collage tarot deck, which I may provide at some point, but for now I'm kind of just it's gonna be my baby. But all my tarot decks that I use are listed in the description. They'll have links if they're available for purchase. So the main tarot deck I'll be reading from today is the Gilded Tarot. You may, if you're familiar with this, if you like this deck, you'll be able to find that easily in the description. And then unusually, I don't know where this came from. Well, I guess from Spirit, but I was guided to grab my runes, which I haven't really felt in a long time. So I'm assuming that there is some message from the runes that want to come through for you, Aquarius. And I will be using a runes guidebook that I really love that kind of gives me some because I'm not crazy familiar with the runes, I tend to use them in accordance with a book, because they're not images. You can just kind of like intuit their symbols. So yeah, so I will pull a couple of runes at the end of the reading as guidance messages, things that can help you navigate whatever it is that you're going through. So I am going to start with this pull, and then we'll get into the rest of the reading. But let's see what else is happening. Source, spirit guides, benevolent ancestors, guardian angels, please help me to connect with the collective of Aquarius. Communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need it. Source, spirit guides, benevolent ancestors, guardian angels, please help me to connect with the collective of Aquarius and communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need it. Source, spirit guides, guardian angels, benevolent ancestors, please help me to connect with the collective of Aquarius and communicate the messages in their highest good for those that need. Okay. The backs of these cards are labeled, so I don't like to look when I pull. And we have the star in reverse. Hopefully I can make that not, I've laminated them, so they can be a little bit reflective. But the star in reverse, first thing I got was just being very lost and not knowing which way to go, like not being able to, the sky being so cloudy you can't identify the North Star, which is how I kind of interpret the star as a guiding light. Finally getting that sign, like that's where I'm supposed to go, and kind of being in that place. This could also relate to somebody who doesn't want to acknowledge what they already know, or doubting the inner knowing that they already have. So they got the message from spirit, but they're like, oh, but was it this? Was it this? So they're kind of in this second guessing place. So yeah. So I'm going to leave this up here so it can kind of preside over the reading, and we'll get into the tarot. I'm not sure if this will be meaningful to anybody, but I tend to keep crystals or minerals of some kind with each tarot deck. Not each of them, but some of them have their own. So this one has a piece of malachite. I'm not sure if you can see that. Pretty little piece of malachite. That's an important stone for you, then maybe look into, or if you already know the meaning of that stone, you'll know why it's connected to this reading, or maybe it's just more confirmation that this reading is for you. But let's see. Did that flip? It did. I think the other one flipped too, didn't it? Sometimes they flip so seamlessly they fold back into the deck. So, okay. Anything else, Spirit? Oh. Okay. I have four chords. I have 4 cards here. I'm immediately, I kind of got, because I have 2 swords and 2 cups, or cards of the swords and cups suit, that this is going to be which is very Aquarian, to be honest, is the battle or struggle between what you know and what you feel. And we have a 7 and an 8 of swords here. I'm guessing there may be some guilt about something you did, potentially, or fear about loose ends that you didn't tie up. So I almost get, like, in this card, in the 7 of swords here, you see these 2 swords being left behind as they look back, kind of like checking their back, like, did I get anything? Did I forget anything? Did I think of anything? Just making sure they get away unharmed. I didn't notice there was a cat in this image. Interesting. And then following that is the Eight of Swords. It does seem like there's some worry around some loose ends that weren't resolved, or it's kind of like you were a bandit and like you may have cut corners or were not totally honest about something, and now there are worried about the repercussions of that potentially. This is so interesting. Just the cards that came out. Now there's a sort of worry about this, a feeling of guilt, you're kind of also worried that someone's going to find the clues that you accidentally left behind, the clues being, the two swords you dropped, and someone will notice what you've done or not done, or, something along those lines. And this could also have been done to you, potentially, and this is how the other person is feeling. I don't want to necessarily be like, Aquarius, you're a bad person, you did this bad thing. I'm reading energy that's in and around you, so this could be about somebody you know. This could be about you. You'll know if it's about you. To be fair, we all do shitty things sometimes. The more we learn not to do that. But then we have a 4 and a 5. The four of Cups here, and then the 5 of Cups. It's almost like there was this discontent. We had this discontent even though we're being offered more than, we have all these cups and we're being given another cup, and there's still this level of, it's not enough, or why doesn't this make me happy? So you're in this sense of discontent, and I'm feeling as though that discontent led you to whoever this, whoever is perpetrating this 7 of Swords energy, kind of led you into the 7 of Swords action. And now that we're in this 8 of Swords place, there's this like step of feeling lost, of feeling like you lost some, it could be a sense of integrity that was lost here. At the 5 of Cups. It's kind of left you emotionally unstable and locked in place. And the warning around the 5 of Cups is forgetting that you still have something to move on with, and the lesson of loss. So you may have this, I do see a lot of guilt around this, but ultimately, I am hearing the truth will set you free. So if you are still feeling, if you've wronged somebody, or somebody has wronged you, maybe you feel somebody's wronged you, they are feeling supremely guilty about it. And they know what they did was wrong. Unfortunately, fortunately they do, they know. But unfortunately it's happened, and they are wrapped up in it, just like real remorse. They may or may not approach you with an apology, or you may or may not approach somebody with an apology. We'll pull more cards to find that out, but yeah. But it's so interesting to get the 7, the 8, and then the 4 and the 5. So them being like natural consequences of the next thing. But the way they came out as, 7, 8, 4, 5, but I'm seeing it as the 4, the 7, the 8, and the 5 almost. Or the 5 and the 8. So each, the 4 relating to the 7, the 5 relating to the 8, because there's a sequence happening in relation to that. But we go from a 4 to a 5 in the Cups, so that being like this emotional stability. Like the 5 in the tarot, in the minor arcana, really breaks the stability of the 4. It kind of shakes up the foundation that the 4 establishes. So I'm seeing that there was like, boredom or dissatisfaction around something, and then we went and did something about it, but it really, you know, it's like you had that fourth cup and you're like, there has to be something more, and then you get that fifth cup and it completely breaks everything down somehow. Or even in the reaching for that fifth cup, you drop everything else that you had. But anyway. Let's see what else. Ooh, we got cards flying. And that one too. Okay. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, sorry. Just like immediately 3 major arcana on the table. So we start with the moon. So things that happen in the dark. Strength. And then the star, the ultimate illumination. So yeah, it just, and then the Knight of Wands, which is kind of like resting or like letting go of the battle, like allowing for the fight to be lost, even though you've been struggling. I say you just because I'm reading this for whoever this energy is about. Again, might not be you, Aquarius, might be somebody around you, might be a situation with another person, and I'm reading the energy of the other person. I just want to make sure because I don't want to make someone feel guilty if they haven't done anything. Because I know it's pretty easy to blame self for things that aren't necessarily true. Wow, that's interesting. I have never noticed that before. And it's going to be hard to illustrate on camera. We have the moon, the thing that happened in the dark. So this is the Seven of Swords moment. But the face in the moon is exactly the same face. Is exactly the same face as the one for the Strength card. So I'm ultimately getting, ultimately from these 3 major arcana, the need to come forward, having the strength to come forward to illuminate what happened in the dark. Yeah, because anything that happens in the dark will be, the light will be shed upon it. So either you can allow that to happen on its own, or you can have the strength to actually come forward yourself and then illuminate that. Also, seeing the star again feels like confirmation of the star we pulled earlier, as what's happening around this. But I think whoever this is about, they already know what they need to do. They just kind of don't want to do it. But yeah, the truth will set you free. You can finally put down the mantle of this facade, this, you know, fight that's worn you down. You're weary. You're weary of fighting it. And it's not a fight you're meant to keep fighting. At least I don't think. Let's see. Any other messages for Aquarius? I'm not getting any jumpers. Oh, that was a whole bunch. Thank you. Not too much, though. I'm gonna have some water. I tend to get a little dry during readings. Well, especially reading for an air sign. And then my incense being a little bit, you know, just more dry, more heat. My temperament, like my elements in my chart, can be very hot and dry, so I tend to need to hydrate a lot. Now, ooh-wee, this is a lot. Okay, this could include a lot of people, because I have a Page of Cups, a Magician in reverse, also a lot of major arcana. I tend to see a surplus or an abundance of major arcana and a spread as just strong, unmovable energy, or like very strong karmic energy. So there's a lot of momentum behind that energy, and it's not easy to deviate from. or manipulate, as opposed to the minor arcana, which tends to be a little more flexible and easier to move through. Now, we have a page here, a Page of Cups, a Queen of Cups in reverse, and then a King of Pentacles in reverse, which could very simply relate to like this youthful. Sure. Oh, interesting. I feel like the king, this king and queen, I get the sense of like being unfair, not ruling justly. The king and the queen here, even though they're different suits, they are of the same polarity, so they're both feminine. I mean, by feminine, I don't necessarily mean they're both women, though they might be. I'm saying that they're both yin energy, feminine, receptive energy, that sort of thing. But I am seeing, yeah, that there's this unhealthy relationship around this, and then this page here looking at both of them and just feeling like, oh, okay, that's kind of makes more sense. This page, which could be a son or a daughter, who may align more closely with the mother, seeing this and just kind of completely disagreeing with it, or feeling this sense of unfairness around whatever it is that the king and queen have chosen for this page. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a family situation. I often read them as family situations, so this could happen in the workplace, honestly. You have two managers, or you have two, the upper management and then the lower management, and you're kind of caught in the middle page. Page of Cups may not be you, Aquarius, but it feels as though the person who feels wronged felt wronged, and then felt the, this Page of Cups felt the, what's the word? Felt justified in the Seven of Swords action. They're like, oh, well, they're unfair to me anyway, so why should I play by, play with fairness? Now, yeah, if it's a work situation, I wouldn't necessarily come forward. If it's like you're gonna lose your job. It could, if it's a work situation, this could also be that you need to file a complaint. You need to actually, resolve this situation. But if it's in a family situation, then having honest conversations might be healthy. Now we have a Magician in reverse, and this is really giving me that the malintention, like the malintention that this page wants to manifest. So not necessarily that this person isn't able to manifest, or it has a blockage to manifestation, which I can often interpret a reverse magician as, but also as, but I'm kind of getting the sense it's more about they're manifesting through wrong intentions, or bad intentions. So that's kind of where the Seven of Swords comes back in, which is the first card in the entire spread. So it's going to be probably all of this is going to surround what happened there. And the Seven of Swords may not refer necessarily to someone, this Page of Cups, making an acting out. It could also be being wronged and then feeling trapped by that, especially if this is a work situation where you kind of have no say over what them, if this king and queen want to lie out of their asses, or want to, wrong you or not give you what you deserve, they can very easily do that without any, without fear of any repercussions. So this could be a Seven of Swords moment against you that is making you feel trapped, unheard, unable to speak, and also leading to the sense of just, going from maybe something that was more stable, or even are more just predictable, even if it was unsatisfactory to, or feeling unsatisfied in it, to just complete, loss. And maybe not, devastation's a strong word, but, it could also lead to that. And even so, there's still going to be a need to bring, what happens in the dark. Oh, before I say that, and that would make this magician all relate to the inability to manifest, because the blocks to manifestation are these tyrannical king and queen. So that's just another interpretation of the spread, but it would still require taking what happens in the dark and having the strength to take what happened in the dark and bring the light to it and do what you need to do. So that is a totally different read, which I like. I like both of them because they both kind of lead to the place you're supposed to be. But now I will pull from my personal rune set. Oh, is that it? This will come back if it's meant to. So while I'm picking these runes, I'm kind of getting in here. I just want to say thank you for watching this far. If this was for you, I'm really happy about it. I think I found it. Okay, I'll just hold on to that. Where was I? I just want to say thank you for watching. If you really enjoyed this reading, if you felt like this reading was for you, or if you want to see more of these readings, feel free to subscribe below. There's a little bell notification. You're probably on YouTube enough to know this is what all of us say in the YouTube video. If you'd like to exchange energy for this reading because this reading was for you, you can do that by leaving a little like. And I'd love to hear how this reading may have been applicable to you, or if it's helped you at all. I'd love to hear that, and you can leave a comment. Now, if you're interested in personal readings, I am available for those, so you can go to my website, friendlymystic.com. There's a link in the description that will give you all the information you'll need, and you can always email me at hitmeup@friendlymystic. So let's go with, I guess I was right about that earlier. That's funny. Okay. So I'm gonna have to look at these up. Oh, that's good. I know that's good. I just forget the names. Zing. Ing. Hold that. And then find Seagull. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Perfect. Wow. Okay. This is amazing. So, and this is upright. They're both, yes. Lovely. Okay. So we have Seagull. We'll have Seagull here. Just kind of an S shape. And then we have Ing, which is this kind of, it can be depicted as a square diamond, or it can be depicted as the two X's on top of each other, creating the square diamond. But ultimately, this is just like victory and like triumphing over the triumph over a difficulty, and then the feeling of there's really no advice needed. I think that's already come through in the reading. This is just confirmation that this is something you will triumph over and feel the success of. This is the success. So, and they both come up. There is no reverse for either of these, so these are just extremely positive stones to show. So I'm very happy with that. Just do what you. Take what you did from the reading. Do what you know you need to do, even if you want to doubt it or it's not convenient. And if you do so, there will be success and victory to that. So even if it doesn't necessarily feel that way, though, Ing definitely speaks to feeling the success. So wow, okay, I'm getting tingly goosebumps. Maybe it's just because it's cold in here. But Aquarius, yeah, I think that's a really positive way to end the reading, and I hope this was helpful for you. And I hope I see you again.